So I know I haven't updated in a long time. Well, maybe a week, 2 weeks. I'm working on all the models on my desk, but I've been busy at work. Other things I've had to do, mostly work on the house, things I had to get done. Do a little work on my Jeep. And with the 2 hurricanes coming through here lately, raining every other day, which even without hurricanes is sort of normal in Florida. I mean, we're a tropical state. We don't get snow, but we get plenty of rain. Usually, unless we have a drought, which affects more than just us anyway. But when it does that, high humidity and everything, that's not the time you want to be painting a model, especially the body. So that can really put a damper on things, literally, on trying to get any work done when you need to paint parts in the body or whatever it is. So you're basically, brush painting is not a problem, but sometimes you could sneak out. Actually, lacquers, you can get away with a little bit with lacquers as far as humidity, but still, just depends on whether you want to take a chance or not. On a body, usually, no. So anyway, I have a shout out for Joe over at Model Building Corner. He sent me 2 of these. I'm sorry if this was reversed. I'm not sure that once I post the video it may reverse it. It may not. So I'm not sure how it works. So he actually sent me 2 cards. I like this one because it has a Boss 302 Mustang. And it has a very nice Chevelle. Look at the shine on that paint job there. And I like the way he did these directions in the background. That's pretty cool. And that's his thing there down at the bottom, or right here. And I apologize if it's reversed. And I'll read it. It says he actually sent me 2. This one's cool too because you got your Mopar there. It's a Duster or a Demon. And then this, I believe, is a Monte Carlo 70, 72, something like that. And the Mustang, Yenko Mustang. I know he built a Mustang. I followed him building a Mustang, but I'm not sure if that's the one that gave him problems or not. But I think he built 2. But all of them look great in this picture. They look awesome. So his model channel is Model Building Corner, but the actual thing on YouTube is at Joe the Model Builder. At sign Joe the Model Builder, and I'll take you right to it. And he's a lot of fun to watch. I like him. What's good is he used to build a long time ago. Then he took a break for many years. Now he's back into it. So it's almost like he's new, but he's not new. But he is trying different things, and he's just I've never seen. He's one of them modelers. He has so much enthusiasm for building that he gets you pumped up when you watch his video. Because, we all become, even me. I mean, I've been modeling for decades, and you get to where you get in a rut. You get your way, you get set in your ways, the ways you paint, the way you do things, the way you do body work, the way you build. Joe doesn't have any of that. He's fresh, so he wants to do something off the wall or try something. A lot of us are past the trying point. That's what happens. When you watch videos for new modelers, everything to them is trial and error. Some of those things work out, some of them don't. But a lot of times they try things that we as model builders have been doing it for decades probably never tried. And when they try it and it's successful, they've just invented a new tip that all modelers can use. But without them trying new things, because us old dogs don't want to do it, we don't want to mess up our perfect paint job, we don't want to mess up our perfect build and take a chance, they're not afraid to do that. And Joe is one of those people, and he still has a positive attitude about it. He's like, hey, I tried it didn't work, moving on. He'll try something else or whatever. So I just enjoy watching his channel. He's just a lot of fun to watch. He's a regular guy, and he's a fun modeler to watch. And he's actually, he's pretty good. I mean, he puts himself down, but he's doing a lot of good. So I recommend checking him out. So with that out of the way, like I say, as far as with all the things that have been going on, I haven't been able to get caught up or post a video. So I wanted to finish one of the models and then make a video then. But it looks like it's going to be a week or so before I actually get 100% done with any of the kits on my desk. So this is a two-part video. There's me talking to you, but we're going to turn the camera around and I'll show you the rest of the models here in just a moment, and then you can see what's on the bench and where I'm at. But yeah, life gets in the way. We all have that problem. So it's not a big deal. It's funny when people apologize. I mean, I'm doing the same thing, but I mean, you know, as far as apologizing for not making a video for a week or two, you know, you got family, you got things you got to do, you got a house, you know, you got to take care of, you know, you got a car you got to keep running to get to work, you know, you got a job. I mean, all these things, you know, we're trying to model in between all those things. So most of us, some of us are retired, and we'll all get there one day. But yeah, when we got a lot of things to do, we do a video when we can. I happen to have today off, but I've already done all my to-do list pretty much up till now, and here it is, you know, 3:18 in the afternoon Eastern time, and I've decided, well, I have a few minutes before I do something else, and I'm going to do the video, and so everybody knows I'm still building and I'm still cranking. So anyway, that's going to finish this segment. I'm going to turn the camera around. I'll show you what's on the bench next, and that's it. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. Let's start with the Nova. Since I was washing the Impala body, I washed the Nova because it's ready for paint. And you know, it's been sitting a while. It probably had some dirt and dust on it anyway, so it gets a good cleaning. Since my Tamiya putty arrived, I was able to putty up the holes in there, and then I just need to sand them down. Just a reference, I don't know if I made a video yet. I don't think I did. I think I videotaped it, and I was going to include it in here, and I might include it at the end of this video, but due to I used baking soda and super glue and filled these holes, and that did a great job, but you can't really smooth out that mixture to be really flat and soft. You still end up putting a little bit of putty on there, which is fine, just to get that very smooth contour surface that you want. But as far as filling the hole, that super glue and baking soda worked. I didn't have any issue with it at all. And that comes from Jimmy at Kit Bash Customs. He made a video on how to do that, and I did what he said in the video, and it works. And the holes he was patching were much bigger than this. So anyway, I'm guessing that my Tamiya putty went bad because I filled this with Tamiya putty once before, and the putty literally just fell out of the hole. It just did not stick to the hood. I don't know why. It's a mystery to me. I've been using Tamiya for many years and never had an issue with it. So anyway, I'll sand that down, and we'll just about be ready to paint. This will get white primer. I'll lightly sand it down here and there, make sure it's smooth, and then it'll get Tamiya white paint. And I already showed the interior. This is the BMW. I had to get all Frankenstein on it because all this crap is warped like crazy and flimsy, and it just didn't want to stay in place. And you're seeing glue on there, but this here will cover up that. This was on there, and I had to pop it off to get these clamps on there. And it needs finesse and touch up everywhere. But right now, I'm just worried about getting the major parts of it put together. So I used a boatload of glue. I hid it. I use the glue where you can't see it, but I use a lot of glue to try to make sure that stays together, because if it pops undone, I'm just going to have to start it over as far as trying to get the body to stay. So, but I'll let this sit a couple of days, let everything cure. Hopefully it'll be all right, and then I can go on from there. And just as a note of reference, when you buy a model kit, when you buy a car model kit, I find this funny. You might not, but when you buy a model kit, and it's a car model kit, okay, and it's like AMT, Revell, even Tamiya, even Aoshima, any name big brand, whatever. When you find out that there's 60 steps, Houston, we got a problem. You know what I mean? Because that's way too many steps, way too many parts, and way too much work. I mean, that's my view. Some people would probably love that. Like, if you were a military builder, I'm sure they got more than 60 steps on a military model kit. You know what I mean? Because they come with so many bazillions of parts. But yeah, right away when I saw that, I should said, nope, put it back in the box. But what can I say? Here is the Ford. I'll just swing this around. This is the Ford. It's already got the two-tone paint job on it. I got some little overspray in here. I'll have to figure out how to deal with that. I'm not sure I'm going to clear coat it, because even the original truck, even though it had a paint job on it, it was never really glossy clear. It was a work truck, basically. For my father-in-law was an electrical contractor, so this was just one of the vehicles that they had. They've been in business since the 30s or 40s, so they bought a lot of vehicles over the years, and it just happened to be a vehicle that they still owned. And it was a shop truck, but they took care of it more or less, and it was still drivable. They maintained it enough to where if they needed to go get something in a pickup truck, they would take the truck and go get it. Whatever they needed, whatever kind of supplies or electrical supplies they needed. So it was never super shiny. So I don't think I'm going to put clear on it. I may put some Tamiya clear on there, which is clear, but it's not really high gloss. So I may do that just to meet it halfway. These are great kits, these Mobius kits. There's no issue putting anything together. It all goes together so well. And it's just, this one's just a stock motor. Everything's stock on it. I tried to make it to where, like I say, I'm not going to necessarily weather it or anything like that. It's just going to be a shelf builder, and that's it. So I actually painted the hood today. Some of these other parts have already been painted white, and the door panels and this and that. So that's where we are on that. And that's the 3 models. And really, actually, the Impala, since I washed it, I really haven't done anything to it. The only thing I've done is I started on the engine. It's a 348 or 409. I think it's a 409. So I painted the orange, and then, of course, I'll mask this off, paint the transmission, and go from there. But I'm really looking forward to building this car. I'm not keen on the stripe down the side. That's going to be a pain. I'm a simple guy, I want simple stuff. I don't like complicated. Especially when I'm doing my hobby, I'm not getting paid to do it. So, but yeah, but it should be fine. Like I say, I'm just going to copy whatever's on the box. I already know what I'm going to paint it. I can't reach the paint from here, so you'll see that in the next video. It's a color combination I've used many times over the years. Never had an issue with it. It always works good. So I know I should not have any kind of a painting problem whatsoever. Notice this right here. Isn't that a little weird? Let me put it up here, if you can see that. See how that's... When I first saw this, I thought the A-pillar was bent or broke. But that's the way that it's made. It's just, when you see it like that, I mean, when you see it like that, it almost looks like it's broke or bent, but that's the way it is. That's the way it's molded, so that must be correct, I assume. But You know, I like the back of this car. I like those 3 individual taillights on each side. That is so cool. So, yeah, this is going to be fun. Most of my life I built race car models. Well, I mean, I built lots of other cars, but lots of other kinds of models. But when it comes to car models, I built a lot of Ford models. I even worked for Ford for a few years. So, for whatever reason, my first car was a Ford. So I just tended, for whatever reason, to build a lot of Fords. So I only got so much money, so I spent my money on Ford kits or race cars or different things. So now I end up building all these Chevy kits that I never even looked at. So, but that's okay. I built a few Mopars. I snuck some Mopars in there over the years, but I'm already looking at some of those too. You know, I'd like to get one of those Demon kits that just came out. So I've been looking at all those, and I wanted to mention something else. And so this is a spoon test I did. I had bought this can of paint a while ago. This can of paint you can buy. There's several companies. I own a Jeep. Actually, my wife and I both have Jeeps. Jeep Wranglers, but you can buy just about any color you want, you know, as long as it's not too weird or too old or something. You know, you can buy the paint on a lot of those Jeep places, and I'm sure if there's a company that sells Chevy parts or Corvette parts or whatever, you could. And I know Ford used to sell, when I worked at Ford, they sold these cans with factory Ford paint in them. So I'm going to guess that GM and possibly Ford still do that. I don't know, because I didn't take the time to look. But I know that you could get them for Jeeps for at least a decade. I've known that. As far as being easy to get, you can just order them online. But I used to work at a place that specialized in Jeeps, and they used to just buy the paint there. But you can see the size of the can. I think this can was like $15 or $16. So it sounds like a lot of money, but it's a factory paint. It's a lacquer paint. And actually, I tested it today because I just wanted to know exactly what it looks like. So this is like a tan color, which I knew that's what I ordered, was tan. So you can see that that's pretty cool. And of course, it dries flat because it's real automotive paint, and you'd have to clear it. But I just shot it out of the can, and you can see that it came out really nice and even. Now, this is the code for the color right there on this particular touch-up spray. Let me see if it tells. I want to say it doesn't say here right away. I don't see it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lacquer. And of course, this is real automotive paint. As far as I know, you do not want to breathe it. So you either need to be well ventilated way outside, or you need to wear at least a mask. And sometimes you may need eye gear, because this stuff is really, really nasty. It's real automotive paint. But other than that, if you wanted to buy a can like this, you know, if you wanted to buy automotive touch-up paint in a can, you can look at some of the cans for Mopars or Jeeps or whatever online. You know, like I say, GM and they might make them for Corvettes or Chevelles, or I just don't know. I didn't look. And it sounds like a lot of money, but it's good paint. So, like I say, I've used this paint before. Not this color, different colors, but I have used this paint before. So as an option, if you're not using an airbrush and you wanted to get a factory color, sometimes you can get them. The dealerships, or actually the car manufacturers, still make them sometimes. So it might be worth checking into. And that's it. That's my update. I spread some good news and spread that and spread this. And like I say, a big shout out to Joe. I recommend checking him out. Some pretty cool cars. And that's it. On to the next thing. I hope on the next update I have one of these cars done. I'm not sure which one it is. It's probably the one that gives me the least problems. Well, we will see. Catch you next time. So I'm giving this a try using super glue and baking soda. So I've mixed those together, and it seems to work well. We'll know when I sand it down. So right now it's already hard, but I'm going to let it set for a while. See if we can get it in focus. There we go. So it looks a little ugly now, but I've used super glue on seams and stuff like that before, and it sands usually pretty good. So I'm hoping that these fill the hole. I may have to go back with something else, and I'm going to probably order some new putty. I think the putty might be bad. I don't know why it did what it did. So we will see how this turns out, and go from there. That's it.